In 1587, over 100 English men, women, and children set out to build a new life on the edge of the unknown. They landed on Roanoke Island, just off the coast of what is now North Carolina. Their goal was bold: to establish the very first permanent English settlement in the New World. But within 3 years, the colony would vanish. No bodies, no signs of a fight, no survivors. Only a single word carved into a tree: croatoan. This is the true story of the lost colony of Roanoke, a haunting tale that has puzzled historians, archaeologists, and storytellers for over 4 centuries. A story of ambition, mystery, and silence. To understand Roanoke, we must look at England in the late 16th century. Queen Elizabeth I was determined to expand her empire and compete with the growing power of Spain, which had already claimed large territories in the Americas. Establishing a colony in the New World was more than just a strategic move. It was a symbol of England's rising global ambition. In 1584, explorers Philip Amatus and Arthur Barlow sailed to the coast of North America and discovered Roanoke Island. They returned to England with reports of lush lands, friendly native tribes, and vast potential. It was enough to convince investors, including Sir Walter Raleigh, to sponsor a full colony. That colony was launched in 1587, led by a man named John White. He brought 115 settlers with him, not just soldiers or adventurers, but entire families. Among them was his daughter Eleanor Dare and her newborn daughter Virginia, the first English child born in the New World. But from the moment they arrived, Roanoke was troubled. Their supplies were dangerously low. The surrounding tribes, once peaceful, had grown wary and hostile after violent encounters with previous expeditions. The settlers quickly realized they couldn't survive without additional support from England. John White made the difficult decision to sail back to England for reinforcements and supplies. He left behind his family, his colony, and his promise to return quickly. But fate had other plans. When White arrived in England later that year, he found a nation bracing for war. The Spanish Armada was preparing to invade. All ships were ordered to stay and defend the homeland. White pleaded to return, but his requests were denied again and again. 3 years passed. Finally, in 1590, John White secured passage back to Roanoke. His anticipation turned to dread as he approached the island. There were no fires, no movement, no welcoming voices. The colony was gone. The houses had been dismantled, not burned or destroyed, but carefully taken apart. There was no sign of a struggle, no bodies, no graves, no footprints. The only clue was a carving on a wooden post. One word: croatoan. White had previously told the colonists to carve a message if they were forced to leave, and to include a symbol of a cross if they were in danger. There was no cross, just that single word.
Croatoan referred to a nearby island, now known as Hatteras Island, which was home to a Native American tribe believed to be friendly toward the English. White was hopeful. He wanted to search the island. But storms damaged his ship, and his crew refused to go further. He returned to England heartbroken. He never saw his family or the colony again. So, what happened to the people of Roanoke? Over the years, countless theories have emerged. Some are grounded in evidence, others drift into legend. One theory suggests the colonists simply moved to Croatoan Island and integrated with the local tribe. Later reports from settlers in the region claimed to see Native Americans with European features, gray eyes, fair skin, and even claimed they spoke broken English. Oral histories from the Lumbee tribe in North Carolina speak of ancestors who came from a lost white colony. While intriguing, no definitive proof has confirmed this connection. Another theory is far darker, that the settlers were attacked, either by hostile native groups or by the Spanish, who were still active in the region. But again, the site showed no signs of conflict, no remains, no scorched earth. The dismantled homes suggest an organized departure, not a massacre. Some speculate the settlers tried to build a ship and sail back to England. Desperate, running out of food, they may have constructed a crude vessel and vanished at sea. But the chances of surviving such a journey were slim. and no wreckage was ever found. Others have proposed that disease or famine forced the group to scatter. The surrounding wilderness was unforgiving, and without supplies, survival would have been nearly impossible. Yet the complete absence of human remains, over 100 people, remains suspicious. And then there are the more fantastical explanations. Supernatural stories have long surrounded Roanoke. Tales of curses, ghosts, and alien abductions. These stories capture imaginations, but they offer no real answers. In modern times, archaeologists have continued the search for clues. In 2012, the British Museum re-examined an old map drawn by John White. Underneath a patch was a hidden symbol, a fort icon, suggesting the settlers may have moved inland toward the Chowan River. Excavations at this site, dubbed Site X, uncovered fragments of English pottery alongside Native American artifacts. This supports the theory that some settlers survived and lived with local tribes. Artifacts have also been found on Hatteras Island, including a signet ring, a sword hilt, and other items that suggest English presence. These discoveries, while promising, still fall short of confirming the ultimate fate of the colony. Despite centuries of searching, no graves, no written records, and no indisputable evidence have ever been found. The colonists of Roanoke simply disappeared. The mystery of Roanoke matters not just because it remains unsolved, but because of what it represents. It's a reminder of how fragile early attempts at colonization were, and how little control even the best prepared explorers had in the face of nature, conflict, and isolation. Roanoke became a ghost story, embedded in the roots of American history. Its legend has inspired books, television shows, horror films, and endless speculation. But behind the fiction is a very real mystery. A colony of families, of dreams and of lives, erased from history without explanation. Perhaps one day we'll know what happened. Perhaps a document will surface, or a buried settlement will be uncovered. But until then, the lost colony of Roanoke remains one of the greatest unsolved secrets of the past.